Welcome back, folks, to Broken Age here on the Heavy X channel. Today, we're starting off in the Deadeye God's Pyramid, and essentially, we're trying to find ways of doing things. So, in this episode, we're going to conclude most of the stuff we had to. So, in order for us to help out with Shellmound, we need to do three things. We've already gotten the perfume needed. So now we're going to try and get the marshal. So, starting off, talking about the bucket hat. Now, we're just going to specifically talk about is that, well, select this option, it looks great on you, and it's very fancy. But he doesn't like being fancy because he's a man of the people. Because if he comes off as haughty and elite, he won't win. So, basically, he's a bald person, etc., etc., etc. And now he's going to go fire his stylist tomorrow. If he gets to that. So now, well, essentially, so now that we have the bucket, I think it's that we got the task necessary ready for the second. Let's get the second part of this task done, helping out with the Sandcastle. So let's put the bucket on the tree. It just kind of makes it interesting, and now.
Oh, and now you're decorating me like a Christmas
This is actually funny.
Is there no end to the humiliation?
I wouldn't say humiliation, it just needs something for us to do. Alright, so we have two things. Sorted that out. So now we'll head in. Now let's see what we're doing. We're gonna head back to the pyramid, I believe. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. So, right. Now, that weird art abstract thing, it kind of familiarizes itself with a slot here. Now putting this in pretty much highlights the thing of the thing, and it unlocks the chamber here. So what is this thing here? And now we meet another new character.
Man, my mouth tastes
Bloody
like
hell!
Oh,
Some
hey,
guy that
my
pretty much.
circuit control router. That's awesome.
Who?
Fire up the ship
What?
and get back to Loruna.
Lorna.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah, thanks for finding my circuit
Eh,
control router.
you
I
just
lost it during
basically
crash and couldn't find it
unlock.
anywhere. I drew pictures of it for the locals and kept saying, "Give me this, give me this."
Eh.
After 2 years, I just had to put myself in cryogenic storage and hope someone smarter would come along and find it.
Interesting. Right. Now, this is officially the point where the game. Well, this
So
is an interesting
embarrassing.
choice.
The locals called me that
Fantasy
shit
fantasy game, and all of a sudden,
Kinda went
this
along
guy
with it,
comes
you
along,
know.
adding the sci-fi part to it.
Were you really dead?
Nah, I was
No,
just preserved in
cryogenic suspension
suspension
for
300
300 years. Shit.
I guess all the locals I knew here are
Hmm. Interesting.
Relief.
Very interesting. You know, this kind of reminds me of this. Huh, his
Can I
mannerisms,
help?
just, you know.
Depends. You know anything about spaceships?
No. I'm just a baker from Sugar Bunting.
Sugar bunting? Is that anything like steel bunting? When I first
Steel
landed, there was this
bunting.
town called Steel Bunting that the locals were
Oh, so
Apparently
that's
it's
what the
full of
town was
terrorists.
called.
So we're standing in a spaceship?
Yeah, put the
Just the upper
emphasis
observation
observation. Wait,
Most of
if
it's
this
buried
if
underneath.
this was just
I'm gonna need to fix some more wiring.
hang
before I
on,
can
hang
even
on,
get
hang
to
on,
it.
hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on.
What's all
If this was the
equipment do?
observation deck,
This is the
I
main
wanted to see.
observation
I
deck
want.
of the
I
ship.
probably didn't
So
want to
this
know
stuff
what
mostly
was
scans
buried
for signs
underneath
of life or
there.
habitable worlds. Anything that would help the mission.
Now this is interesting because this ship's probably
What
gonna
was your
come.
mission?
So if you
Operation
explain, he'll say Operation Dandelion. His planet was dying, so in order to get a fresh start to a new home, they began here. So, how did your ship crash after 300 years?
But there's a chance it was me.
Sabotaging
Tried
the
to hack
system,
into
hack
ship's
the
controls and take
ship's
over.
controls,
Then
take
some weird
over.
stuff happened, and the next thing I know, I'm here.
Oh, oh dear,
What's
oh
Loruna?
dear.
That's my home
Loruna was a
planet.
home planet, or at least it
At least
was.
it
This
I wonder
is
if it's even
interesting.
still there.
Does the ship you mentioned...
Yeah, I know as well. The guy's name is
Hey,
Alex.
whoa.
There's a giant monster that's destroying villages and eating young girls, and it may or may not have already... My whole family might be...
Oh, she's worried, and now she's gonna try and find the
Will you help?
He's convinced to take.
I mean,
Well,
sure.
well, now we got him on
I owe
board.
you
That's a
one,
good
but
sign.
My ship didn't have any weapons.
Doesn't have any
that I
weapons
know
that he
of.
knows
I'll
of.
dig
Well, of
around
course.
once I get this
Now
information
he has
and
to
let
go
you know.
and.
Okay,
You know.
see you later.
Uh-huh.
Alrighty then. So, things have happened. Things have definitely happened.
Careful with that device. If it's hooked up wrong,
And now
it
we
can
could
be
just pretty
very
much
destructive.
sabotage the whole system. So we could just pretty much like that.
Ooh,
And then
colors.
that quartz
Whoops.
color, and then boom.
Hey, that was my amplifying quartz.
Oh,
that?
so
How
that
am I
wasn't.
supposed to read
Oh,
the
we
data
broke
from
an
the search
we
beam?
broke a quartz.
Sorry, I'll get a new one.
Don't bother. All I really care about is getting out of
Eh.
here. And I don't need a
He
search
just
team
needs to
for
get
that.
out. Well, that's going to be very interesting to see.
The bottom socket is empty.
Yes, you broke
Ah,
my
well, of
amplifying
course, you
quartz,
broke the
remember?
amplifying
I'm going
quartz.
to replace it. I swear. Okay, I took it out, but I thought it looked good in there.
It's almost as if you're trying to get my ship to overheat.
We're going to try and overheat his ship. That's
There.
interesting.
Good as new.
Actually, that's not bad. And you even got it in the right slot.
Hi.
No, I'm not sure.
Any luck so far?
Well, there are some missing parts, but if I can get them all, I should be able
That's
to
going
get
to be
something
interesting.
working.
As a weapon?
Oh, no, sorry. Get my ship working so I can get out of here, I mean. I haven't started
Huh.
on the whole weapon thing yet. Let me know if you have any ideas.
Okay, see you later.
But this is basically it.
Huh?
Now we have to find a weapon. And I have a feeling that we have to make weapon, and something tells me it's, yeah. Anyway, I kind of figured that we're pretty much gonna be stopping doing that bit right now. Let's go. Let's help out with the marshal, shall we? The marshal. If you go left, you go up against that snake, but we're not gonna be going west to fight that snake. I think that's gonna be interesting. Anyway, get the driftwood to the to the woodcutter,
And it's so smooth.
and he'll go ooh smooth.
Man, I
It
feel
feels like a
stool
stool coming on.
What? Oh. Ooh, that's a relief.
Wow,
Tell
a
me.
driftwood
I feel 10
stool.
times better. Thanks for helping me get that out of my system.
And now you actually got that out of the system, so
Really? Thanks.
No problem.
essentially, I like to spread my samples around. And of course, now we have that stool. It's just, now that we have the stool, I believe we're gonna try. Then in the last part, did you remember mentioning the trees didn't like stools? Well, it kind of helps because that's how we're gonna be able to get our next objective. So, let's head back to the tree and use the stool on the tree to get what we need.
Sorry to do this to you, but
A stool.
Is that mutilated tree flesh?
you see, what Curtis does is he peels off the outer
Oh, now
layer of
you're
the
going to the
wood
description, and he's just
to
like
get to the tender stuff
tender
inside.
stuff inside.
Then he dips the
This
whole
is actually
thing
kind of
in
funny.
an
Dramatic
acid bath.
tension. Acid
Before
bath.
begins the deep carving.
Deep carving.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, did that upset you?
You monster!
Obviously. Well, that's the last you're going to be seeing the tree for this bit. So now that we have the syrup, let's give the syrup to the marshal. For some reason, thick tree sap. You're going to be very surprised here. Okay, now let's just stinkify ourselves.
man.
Oh, Jesus.
The things
Right.
monsters go for these days.
Obviously, because monsters like fish guts. Monsters stink like pheromones. Okay, let's give the let's give the syrup to the marshal,
Here,
and he'll help
this will
us.
make your sand mixture stick together better.
Really? How do you know?
I'm a baker. I know my
Well, of course, she's a baker. She knows how to do things.
Boy,
So
I'd try anything.
let's try anything. Right.
Hey, Clarence, bring that load down here, will you?
Now let's see if we
hope you're
let's just
right
put
about
the
It's never failed me before.
Now they're gonna try and test this out.
How
So
many times have you
down
used
comes the sand.
Never.
It's just basically building an industrial-sized sandcastle.
Yonder comes a wave. I can't look.
You can't look because of a wave. Up comes the wave, and well,
Now that's
there we go.
Sandcastle.
We have a syrup-encrusted sandcastle, and now they're in
All we
business.
need to do now is get those maidens in.
The maidens now to be in tune now, and there's a fucking
Marcy,
bird
do
there.
I
So
need
now
to
you can
enter
enter the maidens' feast,
Well, I suppose I do owe you one
and
for
since
your
you
help with
basically helped out with the construction,
Oh my! Now that is how you attract
and now that
a
since you
monster.
stink like a monster,
You are in, my girl.
if we're officially
Compliment
in,
to your grandmother.
we are officially
Holy
in.
monstrous.
Thank God for that. So now that we have 2/3 of the thing complete, I believe the next episode is going to be a wrap up for this story at least. So we've been doing this for nearly, roughly an hour now. An hour and 19. Interesting length of time. So, we're going to conclude, next episode we conclude this half of the story.